Hey, let's talk about marketing your bookkeeping business. So I made this video because number one, the main question I get asked, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, is, how do I get clients, right? A lot of people try different methodologies, like they try networking events, maybe they are trying to refer on like friends and family and like word of mouth, but it's very, very hard for most people to get networking and word of mouth to significantly impact their business. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying for the majority of people who try to get started and need to like get their business moving faster, it can be very, very challenging to make those work in a very time-effective manner. So for me, my firm, we started back in 2015. It took us about 16 months to get to like 17K a month in like sales for bookkeeping and VFO services. Now, these are lessons I've kind of learned along the way. Like some people ask, like, why do I put videos on my YouTube channel? It's to really give you guys a way to learn things I wish I had known when I got started. Now, a percentage of the people who watch these videos are going to, of course, join our mentorship programs. That is another method or a reason why we do these videos. But for people who maybe you're not quite ready to join the mentorship program, there's still a lot of really good value inside of this. And we offer like a preview into what it's like to actually like coach and be worked with us. Also, if you have seen some videos, maybe you do want some help. Maybe you've been thinking about starting your business, or maybe you're already starting your business, just not quite growing or moving at the speed with which you want, and you want to avoid a lot of the mistakes that cause most people to fail. Go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video, so book a call with myself or a member of my team to see if we can help you inside of our mentorship program. So let's jump into this thing. So I'm going to go through 3 different steps you can take to market your business. Now, number 1, partnerships make the dream work way faster. So if I only had one thing, let's say that it's like the beginning of tax season and I have no marketing, I have no clients, I have no brochures, no websites, what am I going to do? I'm going to immediately start establishing partnerships. Now, the one challenge most people face is that when I say partnerships, they instantaneously think of, oh, I'm going to go to like CPAs or tax professionals. And yeah, those are good, places to go, but majority of people are going to be reaching out to those same people. So the best types of partnerships are the ones that are already under your nose, but maybe they're more like professional services. So I actually have a book out, and like you can go inside like the link in the description to go check out the book that we have. To teach you and breaks down how to go and identify who's the right partner for you, how to go and connect with the partner. Because one thing that's really hard is like when you're doing partnerships, a lot of people just try and like cold call the partner, right? And oftentimes what happens is if you're talking to anyone who has any kind of like success or status, they're gonna have someone who's like managing their front desk or managing their phone. For example, for me, outside of the students inside of my mentorship program, it's very hard for you to text me, right? Because I have a virtual assistant generally is like looking through all different messages, looking at the comment section, right? So it's like if I don't really want to talk to somebody, I generally don't, right? And there's different qualifications someone has to have in order for them to get patched through to my direct line, right? But it's just kind of like, it's the same thing with other business owners, right? So if you're just cold calling, you're just only going to get like a receptionist or the front desk or the office admin or the office manager. And they're oftentimes trained to, really shoot people down to like protect the owner's time, because the time is like really important to the owner to be able to like grow their business, right? So number 1, you have to go and like think of like what's the easiest and the best way to go and approach them. And number 2, is once you approach them, like, why should someone really want to work with you? You need to be able to make it very, very win-win for them. In some cases, that can be giving a referral fee. In some cases, that could be putting them in contact with someone better. Maybe you have a connection that they want, and then by being able to actually like connect the two of them together, maybe they're going to feel really good about wanting to work with you and they want to reciprocate. In some cases, it could be finding out that maybe they have like a favorite sports team, and then you actually give them tickets to that sports team. It could be that you give them like a Mont Blanc pen. It could be anything. Like you have to be very, very creative when it comes to partnerships in order for you to be able to get them to want to reciprocate and start sending stuff to you. Now, that's number 1 is partnerships. Number 2, whenever I'm thinking about marketing for my accounting and bookkeeping business, I like thinking 2 passive channels, 1 active channel. So kind of like we were talking about before, when it comes to partnerships are really a passive channel. It means the leads are coming to you even if you're not actively doing marketing. Now, in the beginning, we always want to do 2 passive or 2, what was it? That's 2 and 1. So give me 1 sec. My computer just kind of went down. It's 2 passive channels and then 1 active channel. over time you can start like dropping the active channel off as your firm like builds up and builds up and builds up, and you no longer have like spots. But in the beginning, I like really focusing on like 2 channels. Now, again, why not just go straight into 2 channels that are passive and skip the active? It's because you generally want speed in the beginning. So it's like the active one is something you can actively control. And you know, if you put out this much output, this much time, this much effort, this much energy, this much creative, you're going to get a certain return back. And it just makes things very, very consistent. Because, you know, the biggest thing that we kind of struggle with when we're starting out is that we don't know if what we're doing works. So if you don't have something, you know, that's kind of like rewarding all the hard work you're putting in, it's very easy to get frustrated and get discouraged, right? And frustration, discouragement is really the place that most dreams go to die, right? Because most people can only stay in a state of like discouragement or frustration for so long before they're looking to like quit, or before they're looking to like really change courses of direction. So that's number 1. We have to make sure that it's something that, number 1, we can control with the active, and then number 2, it's passive. So the other reason why I like having passive streams, it's very similar like passive income. It's very similar. I almost think of it like streams, right? People talk about like, income streams, right? But usually when people talk about income streams, they're talking about like, you know, like maybe you have like real estate here, then you have like stocks, then you have like a business, then you might have another business, then you might have another business, then you have an e-commerce store, and you have like a million different businesses, right? And that can be very hard when you're a new entrepreneur to like be able to balance all those different businesses. Right. Instead, what I do inside of my, you know, I have 2 businesses. Technically, I have 3. The third one is kind of like a pseudo business. I do like art sales for like some different sculptures my family makes and stuff like that. But within each of those businesses, there's a number of different ways to get clients, right? For our mentorship program, for example, there's like 7 different ways that we go and get clients, because in case one of them like shuts down, like for example, I had like an Instagram account get restricted last week, right? So it's like I can't use an Instagram account until I go through like this it's like a verification or some sort of like review, right? But if I only had one way that I get clients, then no one would know I exist anymore, right? So you have to have multiple different ways. So by really strengthening those streams and making it easier for your business to be able to bring money to you in a number of different ways, it's just the best thing, right? So when you're first starting, I always like focusing on the 3. Now the 2 passive ones, number 1, that can be partnerships. For your active one, that can be LinkedIn, but then LinkedIn can actually become passive, right? Because we have like a lot of different automation tools. So the way I like thinking about all this stuff is like streams, right? So you want to have multiple streams. It's almost like, imagine that your business is a kingdom, right? So like you maybe have a castle, you have like the outskirts, and there are different streams of like water and nutrients that are coming through. And then you can either have bigger, wider, deeper streams, or you can have multiple streams. Some people like going very deep. I'm a person that like just having like a bunch of different streams, just in case one of them gets cut off. I always have access to nutrients inside of my village, inside of my kingdom, right? And it just always makes sure that you're very, very diversified within your business, so that in case like, let's say for example, let's say you have a partner and that partner decides to take like a 6-month vacation, or they take the year off, right? Now you're not getting leads from that partner. So if you only have one partner, you're out of luck, right? So if you have like a LinkedIn account, you have 2 different partners, you have 3 different partners, 4 different partners, 5 different partners, you have speaking events that you're doing, you have a Facebook account, you have advertisements, you have Instagram, etc., etc. You're so diversified that you're extremely protected. Now that's down the road. In the beginning, just stick with 3. Right. So a good example is one of my students named Audrey. So she's at about $25,000 per month in sales for her business. Now, for her 2 passive is number 1, referral partners. Number 2, it's LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, of course, starts off active, right? Because you're building connections, you're answering comments, you're sending friend requests, you are posting content. In our program, we don't necessarily post content, but most people do. But the way that we kind of do it is basically building relationships. But we have an actual machine, so we have different applications that can plug into LinkedIn and can start bringing leads and bringing clients to you without you having to really go on LinkedIn, right? You have to like press start on the machine and then just tell it how long you want the machine to run, and then how many different like leads you want, and it just keeps moving and moving and moving and moving, right? It does take some time to set that up, but once you do set it up and you find like the initial criteria to make it very successful, you just turn it on and it just goes, right? So it makes it very easy for her to go. Now her new active method is now speaking events. So speaking events are optional, right? If you're an introvert, if you don't like talking in front of people, that's not for you. It's just she started getting invited to different speeches from different like partners in the local area. So she just goes to speeches. She does like a Anywhere between like 30 minutes to like 45-minute long presentation. I can give you the scripts if you ever wanted to do one of those and you just don't know how to do a speaking event. I can give you the scripts. But basically, she does that. Then she gets 1 to 3 clients every single time she does a speech, right? So then she just schedules I think she schedules between like 3 to 4 per year. It's just a very, consistent kind of pace. Not like it's another job or anything like that. It's just something she does when she feels inspired. So it just makes things very, very simple. But she has those 3 channels. So no matter what happens, she's able to keep growing her business. And no matter what happens, like she had a referral partner who was like a dentist, and that dentist literally took a 1-year hiatus off. I can't remember if it was I think it was like a sabbatical or something. It was either hiatus or sabbatical. And he basically stopped like his practice for like a year. And if that was the only one, like again, she's out of luck, right? But since she has multiple ways she gets clients, multiple partnerships, multiple profiles, everything she needs, she's always ensuring that she's able to, really have those clients coming in. Now, the third thing I always think about when it comes to like marketing your business is, if you're going to be going more of like the relationship building, let's say that, it's you send a connection request and then you start talking to people over the span of like 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, etc. You need to keep your marketing scripts and conversation scripts very, very simplified so that when you're ready, your virtual assistant can take it over as soon as possible. Now, when I say keep it simple, it's like it does not need to be like something where it's like you have to go look through their profile, see about their kids, see about like their events, how many times are they in the news. Like some of these scripts can get very, very complicated. So you need to be looking like for all the people that maybe you talk to and then who end up being a client, that you reverse engineer what are the common threads between those conversations, and then that becomes your new message script, right? So for example, one of our students named Yulia, we give you a message script inside the program, so it's already pretty simplified, so like it's very, very baby proof, like, right? It just makes it very easy for you to communicate. But as she started getting more and more filled, she just didn't have the time to go and like manage her own account. So she started making her LinkedIn profile more passive by having a virtual assistant. Right, so the virtual assistant nowadays goes and builds those relationships with potential referral partners and finds potential clients using LinkedIn. But the messenger scripts are so simple, so it allows you to be able to like separate yourself and free up your time, right? My goal is always to teach you how to start building a business, so if you choose, you don't really have to do a lot of work. So like for me, for example, inside of my mentorship program, it's very, very, very passive, right? Because all I have to do is just work with the students, right? I make this video, but I don't really have to message. I don't really have to do any consultation calls anymore. It's just all I do is wake up, I check on my accounting firm, make sure my controller is doing well, make sure our team is doing well, and then I go look at my calendar. Okay, do I have coaching calls today? How many coaching calls do we have today? And then based on that, it's like that's all I have to do, right? If I really wanted to make my mentorship program even more like passive, I would just like turn to a course only and like not have no like coaching calls, and like I would not do anything. I would have literally nothing to do, right? But I kind of like doing stuff. That's why I do these videos. That's why I do like the coaching where I still like talk to the people, because like doing nothing kind of makes you feel kind of weird. But it's like you should have the choice to be able to do that, right? So you're counting from like a lot of our students, what happens is like first they get really good at the marketing, then we automate the marketing. Then they get very good at the sales, and we automate the sales. Then they get very good at doing the work, and then we automate the work, right? So we either like do a lot of automations, we use like workflows and book review inside of QuickBooks, or we teach you how to hire like a staff accountant. Now, some people, if you don't want to do sales first, you automate that first. If you don't really like doing the work and you just want to like scale it faster, then you automate like the work first. So it just kind of depends on your personality, like which one that you really like better. Now, these actually can be one and the same. You can go and hire a staff accountant who also likes doing consultation calls, and then you just have to like just make sure your virtual assistant keeps booking appointments for your staff accountant to do all the calls for you, and then the staff accountant does the work. And it's very, very like turnkey and very streamlined, right? So it's just kind of like that's what I'm really focused on now, is like how can I get the students not only to be able to go get to like 10, 12, 15, 20K per month with monthly recurring revenue, but also how can they do it without spending any time like really on the business after a while. Because like the first year it's really fun to kind of do the work and to like be the business owner and to do that, but it's like after a while, and as as your priorities maybe like change in life, right, it's all about like being able to like maximize the time. So like taking the vacation, but then when you're on the vacation, being able to actually like put down the work, put down the laptop to be able to like do it. Like this I think it was either 1 week or 2 weeks ago, I actually went and took a vacation in Mexico. It's just like, it was cool. You know, I only spoke to a couple people that week. You know, did a couple of the small calls that we do for our mentorship program, and it was very, very, very relaxed. But this is like, you know, when I first got started, when I was doing all the work, all the calls, all the mess, everything myself, I would not have been able to do that, right? So it's like really maturity in businesses. Number one, being able to have options, right? So not just options like on the financial side, but also options on like the time side. And once you really have that, not only do you become financially wealthy and financially well off, you become time free as well, right? When you have both, that's really good, right? Because you don't want to be time free but not financially free, right? That's not good. That's not fun, because then all you have is like all the time in the world to think about, you know, how you don't have a lot of stuff. Being financially free but you don't have the time free is also pretty bad too, because yeah, you can buy everything, but you're just like trapped at like your, you know, your computer, your desk, or your job, right? So it's just one of those weird things in this life, you know. So having both is generally the thing I found to be like the most like rewarding and like the most fun. So yeah, if you want to kind of go along that line, if you want to be able to start growing your business, you want to be able to go and get to a place to where you have time, you have income, and you have freedom, all three, right? Go ahead and click on the link inside the description either above or below the video. Book a call with myself or a member of my team to see if we can help inside of our program. We can't help everybody. Like, number one, like not everyone is a good personality fit. You know, number two, our methodologies are very, very proven and very streamlined. Now, we do customize it for the individual, but there is a very set, you know, steps. If you're a person that likes doing, you know, like cold calls, if you like doing, you know, certain platforms that we just don't really encourage, then, you know, maybe it's not the best fit for you. But if you want a more simplified process to be able to grow your business and have total control over the growth of your business, go ahead and click on the link inside the description. Book a call. We'll see if it's a good fit for, you know, yourself and us. If that's you, I'll see you on the call. If you're not quite ready, I'll see you inside of the next video. Take it easy.